Manithathe ithuba ke ndibulise abafundi bebanga leshumi grade 12 learners abenza i-agricultural sciences 2021 ndibulise ke otishala babo, ndibulise naye wonke umuntu omameleyo le recording ngegama lenkosi enguYesu. Lo uthetha ke ngu-Mr. Makrune, an agricultural science educator. I will be taking you through the agricultural science paper 1 exam layout, so that ngolwesihlanu ezibaniza ubhala iphepha leni lokuqala le agriculture noko nibhale kuthe qwenge nibona ba yintoni that is expected from you. So we will do that today. Then iphepha ke lethu i-total yalo sibhalela, nizabe nibhalela 150 marks kwi-duration of 2.5 hours. So ela phepha ke le out of 150 marks kwi-duration ye 2.5 hours. La 2.5 hours ke ayikho ninji kakhulu. It's not a plenty of time because 150 marks mninji. So make sure that xa ubhalayo you concentrate, but at the same time do not be too relaxed because ixesha phaya lingakushiya, but ungakhawulezisi udeske wenze unnecessary mistakes phaya. Be calm, be collected, ubhale kakuhle uzinzile. So i-topics ke phaya esinazo eziyi-3 phaya animal nutrition, animal production, protection and control, ibese iba animal reproduction. Now inatsika i-marks ke phaya zime ngola hlobo for iphepha lonke ezibabe senditshilo li out of 150, out of 150 the total. La 150 usuka phaya animal nutrition ungu 50 marks, and then animal production, protection and control ibe ngu 50 marks, then animal reproduction ibe ngu 50 marks. Idibane londo yenze 150 marks for the entire paper. But ela paper ke ngoku lohlukene into 2 sections, is separated into 2 sections. There is section A, there is section B. So marks for section A ngu 45 marks, 45 marks for section A. Now la 45 marks usuka phi? U15 marks simfumana from animal nutrition, then u15 marks simfumane from animal production, protection and control, then u15 marks asuke phaya kwi-animal reproduction. Yitsho loo nto yenze u45 marks. So usection A ke u45 marks. La 45 marks xa unombala kakuhle wenza u30% of the entire paper. So la 45 wenza u30% of the entire paper. La 30% ke ngu-level 2 lowa. So if you score good marks in section A, which means you are close to level 2, so umntu ofumene u45 marks phaya ku section A, which means uku-level 2 lo mntu already uzawuzama ezinye levels in the next section. Now section B ke yena is out of 105 marks. La 105 marks usuka u35 marks opha ku question 2, which is the animal nutrition. Then question 3 which is animal production, protection and control. Then ibe ngomnye 35 marks from animal reproduction yona ezawube question 4. So ime kanjalo ku question 2 which is animal nutrition, question 3 which is animal production, protection and control, and then question 4 which is animal reproduction. So go 35 benze 105 marks. La 135 marks ngunatsika ngu 70% of the entire paper. So 70% of the entire paper comes from section B. So phaya maniphinde ndiyichaphazele lento and ndiyigcinise. Make sure that you score good marks from section A. Even people abafuna improve their levels, make sure that marks uyazifumana kakhulu phaya on that section A. Now section A ke sawuqala si-unpack yena. Section A ume ngola hlobo. Section A umfumana wonke pha ku question 1. So section A pha ku question 1 1.1 uzawufumana all the multiple choice questions. Then pha ku 1.2 uzawufumana matching of columns. Then pha ku 1.3 terminology phaya, one word, give one term, give one word. Then pha ku 1.4 term replacement. So uzawufumana ime ngola hlobo. Uyaphela pha ku 1.4. Then let us give imizekelo here's our questions as pha ku section A, which is question 1. 1.1 uzawufumana umbuzo ofana lo oti various options are provided as possible answers to the following questions. Now phaya ibe sesithi choose the correct answer and write only the letter, and write only the letter. Ikhona lanto ethi and write only the letter, and write only the letter A to D next to the question number 1.1.1 to 1.1.10. So phaya you are not expected to write the description. If the description okanye the term iphaya ku B, you do not write the term phaya yonke iphelele okanye the description eku B iphelele, but you only write ukuba ngaba .1.1 inatsika option yakho, the correct answer is in B. You only write B. You do not write the description that is in B. You write only the letter. That is an instruction. So you might lose marks if you do not take into consideration of that instruction. Then phaya imarks zethu esinazo ngu-2 for each and every question times 10. There will be 10 questions, then 2 for each. So to make the total of 20 marks. So 1.1 eyedwa, the multiple choice questions is worth 20 marks. And then in that question food, you must also expect a combination types of question. Combination types of question. Now, part with combination types of question, there is always a question prior. There is always part with descriptions now. A wrong that makes that combination to be wrong. So make sure that you identify the description a wrong or prior, so that eke another combination ayiyo seven. So you need to make sure that you identify that one. So siye ku 1.2 phaya uzafumana umbuzo obufana nolowa oti indicate whether each of the descriptions in column B applies to A only, B only, both A and B, or none. So phaya you must take into consideration that if the answer phaya correct ipaku A, you must not leave only. You must not leave only. You must not write A and then you leave only. You must write A only because it is in the instruction. Into eti write A only, B only, both A and B or none. So you must always bear that in mind. Indoba asimshila only siyambhala. So if answer yakho phaya iku B, you will write B only. And then if answer right phaya zombini A no B, ba right bobabini, awuzuskubhale A and B, but you will write both A and B. Both A and B. So naphaya if there is no a correct answer between A and B, you will just write none. Sabon, you will just write none. Then let us quickly go to 1.3. You will find a question paya eti give one word or term for each of the following descriptions. Write only the word. It write only the word. So paya, you do not write the description paya. So you write only the word paya. So and it's that one. Then part 1.4, you change the underlined incorrect words in each of the following statements to make them true or to make them correct. Paya, you write only the answer next to the question number. So awubhali phaya the whole description ube sewutshintsha elagama elikrwelelwe umgca. No, you write only that change term phaya uyifake pha next to the correct number. So phaya, and okwesibini esa statement esiya si incorrect si incorrect ngala term ekrwelelwe umgca ngaphansi. So kufuneka uyitshintshile la term. Kuyenzeka amaxesha umbuzo ube butricky, la term uyibone ngathi iyafitha kwesa statement, but kufuneka uyazi into yoba it's a trick leya. Funeka uyitshintshile la term, uyazi ukuba yenye iterm efunekayo phaya. You must change that term. So section A ke unjalo. So la section A ke ungu 45 marks wonke, as I've already indicated. That makes 30% of the paper, which is level 2 of the paper. So you must make sure that before you go to the exams, you drill yourself on terminology, you drill yourself on concepts, you take previous question papers and you test your knowledge on concepts, you test your knowledge on terminology, on those terms, so that you may obtain good marks for this section. So and also remember that in that question, each topic has 15 marks paya. Each topic has 15 marks paya for section A. So make sure that 15 marks omsa ku section A for each and every topic: animal nutrition, animal production and control, as well as the animal reproduction. Now let us go to section B. Let us go to section B, which is question 2, question 3, and question 4. Now, in question 2, we find the animal nutrition. We find the animal nutrition paya in question 2, which is 35 marks. 35 marks will be asked on animal nutrition. Remember, omnye u-15 marks we-animal nutrition nguluphume ku-section A, zithi xa zidibana zenze u-50 marks xa zizonke. Now, phaya in 2.1 mostly, the learners are expected phaya to compare external structures of alimentary canal of ruminant and non-ruminants or monogastric animals. So you must make sure that you are able to compare alimentary canal of ruminants and non-ruminants. Now, phaya you must be able to identify into okokuba this alimentary canal, is it for a cow, okanye is it for a pig, okanye is it for a fowl. Identification, because if you are able to identify between alimentary canal, there are marks for that. Alimentary canal for ruminants, and then you are able to identify alimentary canal for monogastric animals. You might be there might be a question around those lines. Now, phaya enye into endifuna niyiqaphele, there is a question edla ngobuzwa phaya ithi classify mhlawumbi eza alimentary canals phaya, okanye unikwe ii-pictures phaya kuthiwe zeziphi eza alimentary canal. Xa kuthiwe classify, you must know that kuthiwa ichaza uba yi-ruminant na okanye yi-non-ruminant, okanye kuthiwe type of an animal. What type of an animal is that? Is it a ruminant okanye is it a non-ruminant? So yi-classification leyo and the types of animals. But xa kuthiwe name the animal, name the animal, yintoni la animal? Is it a sheep? Is it a fowl? Is it a nansika? Is it a pig? So you name the animal. So xa kuthiwe name the animal, there is a different kuna xa kuthiwe classify the animal, okanye xa kuthiwe give the type of the animal. So there is a difference. So you must make sure that aniphazami loo ndawo phaya, because tricks phaya kula questions are around those lines. Then you must be able to identify, as you identify the alimentary canals, you must be able to identify the parts in the alimentary canal, which means you must be able to label the alimentary canals. After labeling the alimentary canals, you must be able at least to give the functions and the adaptations of the alimentary canal, of those structures in the alimentary canal. So you must make sure that you know the functions, adaptations of those structures of the alimentary canal, and you describe, you give descriptions of the internal structures of rumen, reticulum, omasum, abomasum, small intestines. Now, another thing ozawuyilindela ekufuneka uyilindele kule question apha ku-question 2 zii-calculations. Now, phaa kwi-calculations we have got 5 calculations in paper 1. We have got 5 calculations for paper 1. We have digestibility of coefficients, or digestibility coefficients. We have nutritive ratios. We have PSN square. We have energy values, and we have fodder flow. So those are the 5 calculations that you will need to take into consideration. So zonke eza calculation, you at least 2 calculations. At least 2 calculations. So you will be assessed for a minimum of 2 calculations in this question. So upper question 2 to a total of 14 marks. So the maximum marks for calculations 14 marks. So make sure that xa ufunda calculations or xa upractice calculations uthatha 14 marks wakho umfake epokothini. We will see we unpack and you will see into yoba kulula kanjani ukufumana marks pha kweza calculations zonke. And then eza calculations ke marks phaya okanye criteria yokumakisha phaya okanye criteria yokufumana marks phaya. Marks zikweza ndawo. You must make sure that you put the correct formula. You must make sure that you put the correct formula. For instance, the formulas prior for digestibility of coefficients. Digestibility of coefficients prior. Formula yayo it dry matter intake in kilograms times dry mass of manure in kilograms over dry material intake in kilograms multiplied by 100. So multiplied by 100. If umfundi akamfakanga la times 100 phaya, the formula is not correct. Ndenza umzekelo futhi nge-nutritive ratio. I-nutritive ratio ethi 1 is 2. 1 is 2. 1 is 2. TDN minus 1 is 2 percentage. TDN percentage. TDN minus percentage. Percentage DP over all over paya percentage DP. So abafundi abaninzi mistake abaye bayenze, they leave behind law 1 is 2. Kanti paya is a nutritive ratio. It is not going to give you at the end of the day if you leave behind this 1 is 2. It will not give you a ratio paya at the end of the day. So you must make sure that you put the correct formula paya, because there is a mark for the correct formula. Immediately kusitwa calculate the nutritive ratio, put the correct formula paya, uno 1 mark paya oqinisekisiweyo indoba uzamfumana. So nezinye ke calculations, make sure that formula you put it there. Then substitution of values has got a mark. So paya you go to data luyinikiweyo, you substitute values zakho paya. TDN umhlambi umnikiwe umfake paya. It's a simple substitution of values. Steps esibili. Esesithathu, you simplify those values. After you substituted, you will just simplify the values. Then there is a mark for the answer, the correct answer. Now the 5th mark paya is the mark for the correct units. The correct units. Senza umzekelo for indigestible coefficients, it is compulsory that the answer yako at the end of the day should be in percentages. So if your answer is not in percentages, which means you will be losing a mark for the correct unit. So you need to make sure that before you calculate, you put your formula, and you know in the at the end of the day it is expressed in percentages, okanye it is expressed in kilograms, so that you may have that mark correct units. Now lastly, phaya kwi-calculations, you will be asked to interpret phaya i-results. Senza umzekelo phaa kwi-digestibility of coefficients, if ever kuthiwa phaya i-digestibility phaya ngu-75%, i-digestibility coefficients ngu-75%, which means phaya you will be able to interpret phaya i-results zakho from la calculation into yokokuba la feed for that particular animal is digestible. Seibon is digestible because it is above, its digestibility coefficients is above 60%. So that will be your interpretation.